Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks. This is episode 56 of the Interplanetary Voyage of Exploration, and in previous episode we have finally reached Duna. Well, with two ships anyway. One of them didn't go so well, our exploration ship, which basically lithobraked and went into, let's say, 426 small pieces, and Jeb's lander that fared much better and got successfully aero captured in the orbit around Duna. So, that being said, we have other exploration ships coming in. We have the next Duna exploration one. Fortunately, we had sent two of them, so I guess that was good. And the second one was the mini Duna probe chem, and then we have also one that should be coming later, and that's, I think, the ScanSat one. But right now I'm adjusting parameters for the second exploration ship to land, and then you can see Jeb's lander going circles around Duna, doing orbits. The reason why I don't want to land Jeb yet is because I want to refuel or restock his lander with supplies and make sure he has everything he needs. And also I do want to the ScanSat ship to arrive first and performs the scan of the altitudes and biomes of Duna. So that's anyway kind of the reasoning what I have, because otherwise we don't know where we are landing. So, and we really do want to have a good picture of where we will be landing Jeb. So, exploration 1 aero brake. Second try. This time we will be trying, and I'm now closing all of the communication dishes except one, and all of the solar panels except one, and then I will be queuing them to hopefully extend at some point later after the aero brake. This time I'm going for much more conservative 16 kilometers, because that proved good enough for us for Jeb, and I'm hoping that will be good enough for this craft as well. By the way, here you can see me fiddling with the solar panels and the communication dishes once again, because I forgot to input the signal delay, which effectively told the ship, okay, close and then open. It didn't say open only after 35 minutes, which was an error on my part. Well, fair enough. I'm showing this is I think it is like 6-7 times acceleration, so if it looks a little bit more fiddly and quick, I'm sorry, but I think it's only important that I've only been showing the aero brake around Duna before, so yeah, we do want to save some delta V for the orbital maneuvers anyway. So, let's keep our fingers crossed, because now we no longer have control over our vessel. We have another 1 minute to periapsis, and our apoapsis has started to drop. We are on a steep decline towards the periapsis, and I'm kind of hoping that this time we will only get aero captured and not perform lithobraking. So, our periapsis is already rising, so we have our altitude is already rising. We have passed the periapsis, and I'm kind of hoping that we'll still get aero captured, but then again, maybe not. I might have opted a little bit too high this time. Well, fortunately enough, we have bled significant amount of delta V, so the moment we come out, we will be performing then the brake. So that shouldn't be too hard. And I'm also tweaking a little bit our orbit to match the one of Jeb's lander, because my plan is, once we deploy this satellite network, that we would be essentially landing or docking Jeb to this station. So I told you that the reasoning behind these exploration ships is dual. One is the satellite deployer, and the second is the core of the future Duna orbital space station. So, I have to account that, okay, now I have my solar panels and dishes extended, and then I'm executing the planned maneuver. Okay, and our apoapsis has dropped. Now we're in elliptical orbit around Duna, and I want to put it in some decent apoapsis of, let's say, 1200 by 100, which would then allow me to deploy the satellites. Then again, next thing is the small Duna chemical probe, the one that barely had enough delta V to enter the Duna sphere of influence and exit. It's 0 meters per second, so I'm basically symbolically capturing every single information that I can with this probe and just basically transmitting it back to Kerbin. So, whatever you can contribute, little one, it will be appreciated by the boys back at the Kerbal Space Center. Thank you very much for that. Okay. To be honest, I never expected this one to actually contribute anything, but then again, it seems that it actually managed to contribute quite a bit, which is kind of cool and fun and nice. Okay. That being said, oh yeah, I'm waiting for my solar panels to charge a little bit so that I could hopefully transmit another gravity scan, because it takes quite a bit of electric charge, as you can see. Wow. Recharge, do we have another? And come on. No, not really. Well, 784, which is wonderful, because this gives me the opportunity to research a node I wanted to research for a long time. Although these engine clusters look very attractive to me, there was another node, and this is the Rapier ones, that I wanted to research because our SSTO program has been a bit stalled because of that. So finally we can advance our SSTO program as well. Beautiful. Rapiers were the missing link between like our SSTOs and the future SSTOs. So great. Anyway, back to our exploration ship. It seems that we have an icon counter. Yes, and I never planned for that one, and it puts us in the orbit where I again have to worry, which I'm not happy about. So rather than me just kind of complaining and allowing this to happen, I decided to take action and just see if I can myself perform the burn, which would basically knock this orbit a little bit to ensure that the icon counter does not happen. Okay. Perfect. In the end, we are once again in periapsis of 93 kilometers above Duna, and now I have every intention of stopping and reducing my periapsis to 1200 so that I can finally launch our communication satellites around Duna. The plan is in total 4 satellites in equidistant orbits, or maybe 3 satellites with 1 as a redundancy. We'll see how it goes. I am extending my communitron to make sure that this is happening, and then I deployed this, and then I've got all kinds of fuzzy behavior. I don't get how and I don't get why, but I think there was a bug in terms of playing with the flight computer. I think it was colliding with something. So I don't know why. And our xenon gas is leaking. Of course it's leaking. What else could be happening? I mean, it just had to happen. Simply put, so far we've been lucky enough with this mission. And then we get the dance of the Kraken. Yes. I think that this is a bug, honestly, so I'm just burning a little bit there and there. And I'm trying to burn a little bit just to extend our periapses and epops, but I honestly don't know how it will work out. It's very buggy at the moment. So, yeah, I decided to switch back to our core exploration ship, and rather than be bothered by a single one, let's see if I can decouple the second one, and let's see if it's the issues with the decoupling or something else. So, activating the engine, and this one already has a one faulty battery. Dang it, we love you. And once again I get the nice dance of the Kraken, and as hard as I'm trying to control it, it doesn't work. Well, you get the picture that I was pretty disappointed with that. But since I assumed it is bug, I decided to actually do a short burn, see if I can re-establish control in any way possible. I just wanted to basically knock this one a little bit out of the orbit so that I get out. And then I actually decided that I should actually reload this craft directly from the tracking station, and that seemed to have fixed the issue. Let me just see, I'm kind of posting as I played, and then I had a couple of issues with it. So I'm now trying to switch between active craft, and this is the moment where I actually reloaded. And as you can see, once I reloaded, I have a perfect control over my craft. Which is kind of strange, so that definitely points to the fact that it was a bug with decoupling. I don't know why. Okay, but this is the faulty one, and I'm just trying to ensure that this one has at least decent orbit. It's not gonna be the one that I planned for, because my fuel will run out, obviously. But then again, I'm just trying to see if I can get some bang for my buck here. So maybe we'll actually have enough delta V to get 1000 by 1000 or 1300 by 1000 something. Let's call that this one will be a backup relay satellite. Okay, target Ike, and you target active craft. Beautiful. Activate, shut down the engine, and we no longer need it, so I guess this is good enough. Our first Duna relay has been set up. In the less ideal orbit than I would want, but let's rename it Duna ComSat 1. Let's go back to the other one. Here we are at the Duna exploration ship. Hold on, where's the other one? Yeah, I'm trying to switch to you, little buddy. Okay, so let's put this one now in the correct orbit. I decided to keep the other satellite, for redundancy reasons. You never know what might happen. So, by the way, in this episode we will be mostly focusing on establishing Duna communications network, because we will be landing some unmanned and manned and stuff, and we really do need an orbital relay network to be able to successfully control that. So, extending solar panels, extending communication dishes. So far just solar panels. Engine is activated, and I want to be activating our communication dishes as well shortly, because the moment we get out of the range of our exploration ship or the other relay, we would be losing connection to the KSC, so I don't want this to last too long. And another battery has short-circuited. Of course it did, we never expected otherwise. Okay, time to activate our Caribbean Medium Range ComSat and another one, Caribbean Medium Range ComSat 2, or 3, So activating both of our communication dishes, shall we? Anytime when you're ready. Maybe I was looking first to actually get it into the orbit. Yeah, I think so. This is a post commentary, so I have been recording like lots of missions. I'm currently recorded up to episode 61, so forgive me if I don't recall every single bit one on what I was doing, so yeah. But in this one I remember I was focusing mainly on setting up our Duna relay network. So activating connecting to the Kerbin medium range comsets 1 and 3. And in another one I think I have selected 2 and 1, and in the 3 one I have 2 and 3. So I have like cyclic redundancy just in case. Also one antenna pointing to Ike. I want all 3 satellites to be covering Ike, and the Communitron has enough range even from this altitude to reach Duna without problem. So, and that's kind of the idea. So now I'm pointing my craft towards Duna because I remember that I have cameras. So let's see what the folks back at the KSC are viewing. No doubt they are having a beautiful view of Duna. And here we have an external view. Let's see. Our telemetry, orbital assistant, mission info, and I'm thinking here I want to have something additional camera. Beautiful. I really like this probe control room, by the way. I'm not sure if I'll ever do a mission where I'm completely controlling the probe from control room, but it would be kind of fun and interesting experience. Okay, time to deploy the second satellite. Making another orbit, and as you can see the other 2 comsets are working correctly. So great, they are relaying as they should. Once again, extending the Communitron, decoupling from the mothership, and now I've got this one to play buckaroo a little bit. Okay. Once again you do a reload, and once you do a reload, the whole craft, basically as soon as you decouple, as you can see, you start to dance like crazy. Back to the Space Center and reload. By the way, I mean this is in 090, so I think back then there were some still issues. I hope that those were fixed because many releases have gone since then, so yeah, I really hope that this issue has been resolved since then. As you can see, once I reload it, no issues whatsoever. So this is clearly a bug, and initially I was thinking that it was a problem with my SAS not being able to cope with all this torques and the Megalodor being like this huge solar panels and stuff, but that's clearly not the case. So yeah. Okay, now I'm making sure that both antennas are up, that the solar panels have been correctly deployed, and we will be ready to commence our third satellite, or second successful, hopefully, satellite burn in setting up our communication network around Duna. And that's supposed to happen within some 5, 4, 3, 2 minutes roughly. So we are burning with our... Oh, this is a beautiful sight. I really like when these probes burn, this glow as made by near future technology. It's really nice. I have to remember to take mandatory screening of that so that I can have a title for the episode. Okay, 40 meters per second. Almost there. And and 1190 by 190, so 1200 by 1200 roughly. Great. That basically brings us to launch of our third satellite, or third successful hopefully, and fourth actual one, which would leave us with the bare exploration core ship. And that's kind of the idea. Once I actually deploy the last satellite, the exploration core ship will go into lower orbit to be there as station to resupply for the landers going to and from Duna. Okay. Decoupling. Making sure I just extend the solar panels and doing the mandatory buckaroo. I'm just hoping that I don't hit. Okay, reloading our last probe. And as you can see, no more buckaroos, just working smoothly as intended. Beautiful. Okay, opening the medium or short range communication dish, and now I'm just kind of fixing the orbit, and I was thinking doing a little bit shallower orbit to make sure that we get like triangle configuration around Duna, pretty much in the same way we have around Kerbin. And it seems that Dengit has already killed one of our batteries, which is completely understandable. I mean, why am I even surprised? Fortunately, this time I was smart enough to actually go with a different design where I'm using multiple batteries as opposed to a single battery. So yeah, you learn from experience. What can you say? You live, you learn. Anyway, I'm now just making sure that I'm thrusting in the right direction, and I would be basically burning until I get 1200 by something orbit, and then I'll just fiddle a little bit until I get the correct positioning. By the way, when you're deploying satellite network, the most important thing that you need to match is not the orbit itself, but you have to match the orbital period. Because even if orbits are a little bit left, right, it doesn't really matter. As long as the orbital period is the same, the satellites will be kept in the same place. And the orbital period is showing left of my altimeter at the bottom row, below time to periapsis. So yes, I'm just now making sure that I position correctly. As you'll notice, I'm slightly in the lower orbit, and this is actually intended. So I'm just now fiddling a little bit. Turning a little bit. And I realized I want to go into slightly lower orbit just to make sure that my orbital period is shorter, so that I actually catch up. And it's a really nice picture of Ike in the background. We will be coming to you, Ike, soon, hopefully. Okay. And now I'm just making sure that I match the orbits exactly. And then I will be showing what our network looks like. So let's see. These network setups always take a little bit time, but they're very important for some later on missions. And the most important thing, they actually get screwed up by the time you send the second mission, but hopefully you have enough satellites that they become redundancy on their own. So unless you're really putting them with hyper edit, do expect that their orbits will mess up eventually. So, okay, I think I have to fix this one as the last one. Just making sure, yeah, that one is basically going in the more shallow orbit. until it gets its proper placement. And yeah, going back, and I realized that only this going back and forth can help me in terms of correcting the satellite. And then I realized we have one more ship that we need to think of, so I'm now just checking if we are really having an encounter with Eve, because we have come to the time where we will be actually coming on our maneuver node. That should hopefully get us a favorable encounter with Eve. So now I'm fiddling a little bit to see how good encounter can I really get for our Scansat ship. Scansat ship is a part of the flotilla that we sent to Eve. Executing a small maneuver burn. And in 2 minutes, roughly 300 meters per second, just to get a very nice Eve encounter, because right now it's pretty cheap to, fix these things and fix our periapses, because later on it will be much more costly if we don't do it at the moment. Perfect. Very nice tight Eve encounter. And yeah. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of this episode. Like if you like, and thanks once again for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.